Hey guys, thanks for joining us back out here at the Range Report, and today we're going to be trying to settle a little bit of confusion that we may have spurred with speaking about the Rost Martin RM1C. Now, when I reviewed this thing a couple of weeks back, I said I was pretty impressed with it. The one problem I seemed to have with it was that I felt that the trigger wasn't exactly as good as the trigger feels. It wasn't consistent, and sometimes the trigger felt under live fire as if it was going off a little prematurely. It felt like the wall was a little more sensitive on some shots than others. Now, that was through the first couple of magazines. It since has settled in a little bit. We got a couple of hundred more rounds through it. I got cousin Steve out here at the range with me. I wanted to get his opinion of it. He just put a group together that I can't put two fingers through. So he's shooting this thing better than just about anything he's got in his collection. He likes it. It's his new carry gun, I think. I'm going to run some more rounds through this thing. I may have jumped the gun a little bit with my critique of the trigger. You know, maybe you just had to break in a little bit. I'm not sure, but we're going to run some rounds and see what we say. We got a couple of magazines loaded. We got a 15 and a 17, I believe. But before we do that, I wanted to call your attention to the Legends Never Die Paul Harrell shirt. In case you guys don't know, Paul Harrell is in the fight of his life right now. And if you don't know who Paul Harrell is, pull your head out of your ass, because you should know. Paul is a legend in the Second Amendment community. He's got one of the best channels out there. If you appreciate an honest review, good critique, and a nice story to go along with it, Paul Harrell's got one of the best channels out here. He's one of the most fantastic personalities in the Second Amendment community. He's a tremendous advocate for our cause. And right now he's battling for his life with pancreatic cancer. He just turned over the channel to his brother until, he can get back in front of the camera again. But the community itself, we're trying to do everything we can to help Paul, encourage him and his family. And some associates came up with the Paul Harrell Legends Never Die t-shirt, and the link is going to be in the description below. Instead of going and picking up another box of ammo or a couple of scratch-offs, spend $25, put the money where it's going to do some good. Give Paul and his family a helping hand. Whatever they're not using for themselves is going to cancer research. I'm sure we've all lost somebody near and dear to us. I know I have. And, Paul might be, going through the throes of it right now. But, hopefully one day we can find a cure and prevent this from happening to anybody else. And, with Paul's struggle bringing attention to the cause, hopefully we can bring a cure to it as well. So click the link below. As soon as you hit the like, the subscribe, the bell, and notifications, click the link too. And, once you buy your t-shirt, let us know in the comments section that you actually have your t-shirt. And what we're going to do is do a giveaway on this channel for somebody who gets one of those t-shirts. So not only are you going to help a cause, you might be helping yourself. I'm not going to tell you what we're giving away, but it's going to be something cool, I promise. Anyway, that's the Paul Harrell section of the video. Right now we're going to get back. We're going to put a couple of magazines through this RM1C and see how it goes. My cousin just embarrassed the living crap out of me with the group he put together. I'm going to see if I can't match his performance. You'll see that in the video as well. Our target's 21 feet away. I'm going to see what we can do. Looks to me like you found your new EDC.
Fucking like this. I ain't gonna lie. Holy shit. That might be the best shooting I've ever done.
All right, I'm going to run the first of two magazines. The first one I'm going to run has got the extended base plate for the +2. I'm going to see if maybe the little bit of extra grip, because it is a compact gun, you know, has something to do with my accuracy. I prefer a larger gun to begin with. But again, this was more concerned about the trigger and the sensitivity thereof. So we're going to, you know, run it and see what happens. All right, extended magazine, 21 feet. We'll see how we like this. All right, I got a dead trigger. I got a stovepipe. Well, I got a failure to feed right here on this one. All right, so now a double feed. Gun is locked up pretty well, so I got to clear this magazine out, get these rounds out. All right, had one round didn't want to come out of the chamber, got that one out. I think that was my 6th or 7th round that we had that failure. So I'm going to continue going. All right, see, that was that sensitivity. Right there, I don't know if you picked that up on the camera. That was what I was talking about. I came off of the reset, and just as I was about just pressing in on the safety dingus, went off a little bit earlier than I was anticipating. It might be because of firing rapidly that causes that. When my cousin was firing this thing, he was taking it very slow and deliberate, and maybe that's why he wasn't having that effect. I was trying to shoot it a little bit faster, and that round went off, like I said, a little before I wanted it to. All right, my group is not that bad. I have a couple of flyers there. I think I was, you know, a little annoyed at that failure to feed. But I'm going to run another magazine through. I'm going to try and take this a lot slower. I'm going to back up a little bit so you can actually get better picture of the gun in the viewfinder. All right, that magazine went through a lot easier. I find that Steve was right. When you a slower, deliberate pace, the trigger is a little bit more audible and tactile. You could feel it a lot better. When I was firing that thing with a little bit of, you know, impatience, I don't know, to me, it just felt like the sensitivity was that same issue that I had the last time. We're going to run a couple of more magazines. I'm going to change the target out again. I'm going to try it again. I'm going to let Steve run it one more time and see if that was just me. All right, so now I got a couple of magazines through this. Steve's got a couple of magazines through it. He doesn't seem to be finding as much to complain about with the trigger as I do. So maybe I'm just overly sensitive to it. I don't know. I can't tell. So we were just talking. It seems that we're going to have to get a third person to come in and give this thing a run. But I'm going to put one more magazine through it just to say, you know, we did our due diligence and see what happens. Under speed seemed to function fine. The last round that went through this was the round that had a failure to feed before. I wanted to make sure that that round got into the mix. Didn't have that problem again. I don't know. It seemed all right. Like I said, maybe it's just a break-in thing. Maybe I'm overly sensitive to it. I'm not sure. Otherwise, The gun seems to be running fine. Steve's putting together groups in this thing, 20 rounds inside of a quarter at 21 feet. The thing is accurate. It's comfortable. He likes the stippling a lot. He likes the size of the frame. For me, it could be a little bit more aggressive, but other than that, I don't have a problem with it. The next thing we're going to do, we're going to get somebody else to try this thing out, and we're going to put a red dot on it. We'll see what happens. Maybe swap out the sights. But for now, the RM1C from Rost Martin, I'm going to give it a partial thumbs up right now. I'm still not confident on that trigger, but Steve is. So, like I said, this is Frank and Steve at the Range Report. Thanks for joining us. By the way, we're at Point Blank Range in Matthews, North Carolina, the premier firing range in the state. If you buy, come by, say hello to the guys, tell them we sent you from the Range Report. They'll hook you up with a smile because they ain't giving you no free range time. But that'll be between them and you. And remember, take $25, hit the link below. Let's help Paul out. He's been there for us all of these years. It's time we're there for him. You guys be safe and shoot straight.
I mean, maybe the gun likes me, and it don't like you. I don't know. I don't know.